Hello, this is Judy Belmont with another emotional wellness tip of the day. With the challenge that we're all facing, our mental health and wellness is more important than ever. And every day I give a little tip that I've read from my research or written in one of my books or cards to help you and me stay strong and resilient. And we'll get through this together. I strongly believe what doesn't weaken you will deepen you. So today I'm going to be talking about post-traumatic stress moving towards post-traumatic growth. Most of us have heard about post-traumatic stress. Now is a time, with this pandemic, of post-traumatic stress. And a lot of people liken it to a war. A lot of people liken it to 9/11. Think of a terrible accident that you have experienced, or a diagnosis, or upheaval in your life, or something very traumatic. The thing is, when there's traumas in our life, such as this pandemic, it kind of triggers some of the old traumas again. And so a lot of times we're just not dealing with this trauma that we are all experiencing together throughout the world. And it is kind of nice to have such company. The whole world is going against a common enemy. But it also recapitulates some older stresses that can make it even more painful. That can be a recipe for depression, anxiety, and sense of hopelessness and helplessness. So, what's the hope for all this? There's something called post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth is what I have noticed in my 40 years of being a therapist. People who have survived terrible, terrible times have actually deepened. They've become a better version of themselves. They've become more empathetic. They've maybe changed their lifestyle, their careers, their way of thinking, their relationships. In some ways, their stresses have been life-altering. And I have had very few clients that have said to me that they would not have wanted to go through it again because they love who they are now. Of course, we're not asking for this stress. This pandemic is horrific and terrible. There's a lot of deaths. There's sickness. There's all this financial uncertainty. We are isolated from our families and friends and neighbors even. We could be next door and still not be able to see them. Obviously, there's a lot of terrible things happening. But I do believe through this post-traumatic stress, there could be post-traumatic growth. So I am just leaving you with this idea that some of the biggest upheavals in our life can make us reach into ourselves more. And I do believe we're going to end up being a kinder people. We're going to end up feeling more unified with others because we share this common pain, and we will get through this together. So this would be a good time for you to reflect, how can I reach post-traumatic growth? How can I take the uncertainty and all this debilitating, anxiety-ridden kind of stuff that's happening, and the scary things that I'm experiencing, learning, or seeing, and how can I make some sense of it so I can be a better person? Some people are making face masks in order to give to friends and families. Some people are reaching out to others and trying to grow in different ways. Some people are reading more. They're reaching into themselves more. They're developing more mindfulness techniques. They're going back to some of their self-help books. There's all different ways of growing through this experience. Many people reach out to others that maybe normally they're too busy to reach out to. So I would like you to think of at least one way that you can try to achieve post-traumatic growth from post-traumatic stress, and realize that post-traumatic stress does not need to end there. This could be a very growth-producing time for us individually, a nation, as well as the world. And I want to leave you with this message. There are some things that we will never get over, but that doesn't mean we can't get through them. And it can be still beautiful on the other side. Thank you.